Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. Now, let's hope the internet gods are looking after us tonight. You know, last night when I tried to do a live and it all went wrong. So I'm hoping that tonight we'll have more luck with the internet. Let me know what the signal's like, if you can see me okay, etc. So I think I'll say hello first tonight for a change. Hi, Chumba, you were first. That's like the natural order of things. Then I know you're okay. Hi, Chumba. Hi, Maltese. Hi, Desi. I'm really good. I'll be even better if the internet works properly. Hi, David. Hi, Tina. Hi, Rio. No F1 tonight. Oh my God, we're being spoilt by your presence because there's no Formula One on. Yeah, during the day, everything's fine, David. They have no problems with the internet in the day. It's weird, isn't it? And, I'm almost frightened of doing a live now because, it's horrible if you're trying to watch. I know, because from when I watch YouTubers and that, if the video's difficult to watch, it's not so much fun, is it? But yeah, it's normally fine in the day. Hi, Tracy. So far, so good. Touch wood. Wait till Raoul Moat gets a grip, or Ted Bundy. I think it's them messing about with my internet. Anyway, so I've got really interesting. Oh, so apart from, saying hello to all the chatters, hello to everyone who's just watching from home. I know not everybody likes to join in the chat. That's fine. Hi, and thank you for watching. The other thing I want to say is thank you for subscribing, for all of you who've subscribed, for all of you who like my videos. Don't forget to press the like if you don't mind. For all of you who are members, thanks to all my members. Thank you to everyone who sent me a super. And I noticed I've got, viewers from all over the world, which is brilliant. Gosh, my voice is good. That's typical. So the internet will be okay. My voice will go. I've done quite a few classes today. So I've done quite a lot of talking, a lot of chatting. So yeah, thank you to all of you that sent me a super, bought me a Ko-fi, lots of you, or PayPal'd me. Any support that you've given my channel, thank you so much. I also want to say, of course, today, really more or less, or tomorrow morning, is the last chance for sending in any offerings you've got for the Halloween live tomorrow night. I'm really looking forward to it. I've actually sorted out my costume now, because I've been thinking, what am I going to, what am I going to wear? I feel like I've got to wear something special. And I was going to give you a clue, but do you know what? I'm not going to give you a clue. So I know what I'm going to wear. I know exactly the character I'm going to be. I'll be trying to get you to guess tomorrow which character it is. But yeah, so don't forget, if you've got anything to do, any photo to do with Halloween, so it doesn't even have to be you. It could be a window display. It could be from a Halloween, a couple of years ago. It could be a mask. It could anything that's sort of in the spirit of Halloween. And tomorrow night, I'm going to show all the things that people have sent in. I've already got a lot of things that members have been sending in for a few weeks now. But now the live tomorrow night will be public. It's not just members only. So any of you subscribers out there, or just even viewers, send me your Halloween themed photos to Vicky Marie Chats at gmail.com, and it's Vicky Marie with an I, Vicky with an I. Oh, Desi. Tina, I've seen yours is pretty scary. It's pretty scary, I've got to say. Yeah, I did get that, yeah. Desi, you've not had a chance, bless. Have you not got an old mask, or maybe you can make one? And Rio, thank you so much for saying kind things about the Spanish classes. Oh, good. I'm so, oh gosh, I'm so glad so far the internet's okay. What was the other thing I just wanted to say about Halloween? Yes, I'll be telling some spooky ghost stories and things. And, you know, it'd just be a bit of fun. So tomorrow night, it's going to be about having fun around Halloween. You know, just, I don't normally enjoy Halloween since my son grew up. You know, I used to enjoy it. But, you know, when he was little and that, but I haven't enjoyed it. You know, I haven't, it's not a big thing for me. Halloween, I've never really liked, but I'm looking forward to it tomorrow because I'll be spending it with you lot, and I've got these great photos to show, and I've now I've got my costume sorted. I'm not going to stress about that because I know exactly what I'm going to dress up as. So it'd be a bit of fun. We're going to have some fun tomorrow, aren't we? Hi, Annie. Okay, so and well, let me just say, for those of you who don't have masks or whatever, I have been sent like virtual masks. You know, if you get a photo of yourself, just a selfie, you can put a mask around it, you know, to just hide your identity and stuff. Because yeah, they're all anonymous. It's but yeah, you can do it on the phone. You don't have to actually have a mask. Or you can do what Claire did, which was she actually went into Tesco's and just tried a mask on, took a selfie or got someone to take a photo of her with it on, and then put it back. So you could do that as well. Don't go to Kung Fu tomorrow night. Have they got, see, here in Spain it's fiesta, so nothing's open tomorrow night. My son goes to boxing. Hi, Yvonne. But it won't be open tomorrow night, the boxing, that's for sure. No, Yvonne, I'm not a lover of Halloween, but you know what? We're going to change that. We're going to change that tomorrow because we're going to have fun, and we're going to, after that, every year for Halloween, we'll be like, oh, I can't wait till it's Halloween because we're going to have a bit of fun again. Sometimes, you know, it's like years ago when my friend died at Christmas, and I never enjoyed Christmas for years. But you know what? It comes a time, sometimes you've just got to sort of try and join in, because at the end of the day, Halloween's going to take place whether we participate or enjoy it or not. So we may as well have a bit of fun with it. And then, yeah, Tracy, it's a secret. It's a secret what I'm going to dress up as. And you've got to try and guess who I am or what character I am. Anyway, I'm not giving you any more clues. Yeah, just put some dramatic makeup on, or you know, or a scarf around your face, or you know, you'd be able to think of something. Doesn't have to be specifically Halloween. It's a dress up. I'm getting all these messages. I don't know why. Normally it's just to tell me that I'm live, but I know that. But anyway, hi Kelly. So yeah, it doesn't have to be. Oh, God's sake, why does it keep? It doesn't have to be a Halloween type thing. Any sort of dress up. Maybe you've got something from your son or whatever. You know, anything. You know, just a bit of fun, or you know, just cover up your face with something. Or yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's what we're doing tomorrow night. So what we're going to look at tonight is we're going to look at this case, which a lot of my subscribers and members have emailed me about this case, and I've been wanting to do something about it for ages. But you know what? There's always something else going on, isn't there? That's in the world of true crime, you can always be sure there'll always be something going on. And so I just haven't got around to it because I needed to research it a bit more, know a little bit about it. I didn't know loads about it. And oh my God, you know, it really is. This is a hell of a case. And this is the case of Ruby Franke, who's a YouTuber or was a YouTuber, and Jody Hildebrand, who is a counsellor for the Church of Latter-day Saints. And she also had a YouTube channel, but it's gone now. I noticed the channel's gone, but her website is still up there, or the website of the I don't know whether it's her actual business or whether she just works for this, but we're going to look at it anyway. And this is the case of Ruby Frank and Jodie Hildebrand. And you know what makes me really angry about this case, or especially angry, because obviously all cases of CA, of child abuse, make you angry, but this just makes me angry because they're women. We don't expect women, do we, to do these sort of things? And you know, I think, oh, is that what it means, that now, you know, the age of equality for women means that we can be equally twonks, you know, be equally as horrible to children? I mean, I know that there's always been sort of nasty women. I mean, you've only got to look at Myra Hindley and Rose West, etc. But you know, it just always seems that little bit worse. And you know, they call them double deviants because women who do things especially against children, and mothers who do things against children, they're like, it's like a double deviance, because not only they've done this awful thing, but they're women and they're doing this awful thing. And it's almost, and it's wrong, because you know, at the end of the day, we shouldn't think worse of a woman than we do of a man, but we just can't help it. That's just, you know, I think for most of us who are mothers, you cannot imagine doing anything that awful to your children. Oh, Chumbra, I'm sorry to hear you're not well. I hope you'll feel better. You will. Hopefully you'll make it, at least for the live. Don't stress about sending a photo. You can just laugh at all our photos. So, yeah, so let's tell this story about Ruby Franke and Jodie Hildebrand. Now, Ruby Franke, let's have a look at some photos. Now, she was a very, very famous YouTuber, and she had a YouTube channel that was called 8 Passengers. Let me just get up some photos. So here she is. So she had this very, very popular YouTube channel, Ruby Franke and 8 Passengers. And the 8 passengers, here they are here. So you've got Ruby herself here, her husband, and their 6 children. So that was the 8 passengers that were featured in Ruby Franke's YouTube channel. And it became very popular. You know, she would go on, we're going to have a look, well, I think we can have a look at some videos. She would go on giving tips about parenting. Let me just see how old she was, because I don't actually know. Right. On Wiki, it says she was born in 1981 or 1982, so I'm not sure why they don't know exactly. So she is 40, round about 40, 41. Now, so she created this YouTube channel with her husband and their 6 children, and she used to post 5 days a week. She would post something at 6 a.m. in the morning. And by June 2020, this channel had almost 2.5 million subscribers. Million. I mean, I think I'm doing well with 2.5 or just over 2.5 thousand subscribers, which I'm really pleased with. The thought of having I mean, how long would it take me to say hello to everybody? I mean, it'd be ridiculous. I'd just have to go on constant live stream saying hello, hi David, hi Chumbra, etc. You know, 2.5 million subscribers. That's how many she had. And of course, she buggered it all up. But anyway, never mind. So let's have a, so it all started to go wrong in 2020 because one of her sons said he'd been banned from his bedroom and made to sleep on a beanbag for 7 months. So not just for one night, you know, I mean, I'm a great believer in consequences when kids do things wrong. Maybe you might withhold their computer for a night or even a weekend. But 7 months she made him sleep on a beanbag. And gradually, viewers became concerned about the disciplinary methods that Ruby was using, because she would withhold food. She would send, I'm not necessarily against this, but she would send a child to a wilderness camp for troubled teens. She threatened to behead a stuffed toy. And also she would tell children that Santa Claus wouldn't be. I mean, we've all used Santa Claus, haven't we? I mean, do you know what I remember when I had my son, and I remember being so disappointed when I found out that Santa Claus wasn't real or Father Christmas wasn't real. And I remember saying, I'm not going to lie to my child. I'm not going to tell my child there's a Father Christmas. But of course you do, because you get involved in the whole thing. And also it is really useful when it's coming up to Christmas, isn't it? Come on, you parents out there, you've got to be honest. There's not many of us who probably have never said, oh, well, you know, you've got to be a good boy or a good girl, because otherwise you won't get any presents for Father Christmas. But having said that, what Ruby Franke used to say to her kids, she would say that Father Christmas wouldn't be bringing them anything that year because they were too numb to respond to other punishments. Anyway, as time went on, it got so sort of her viewers. Now, that's the only problem when you've got 2.6 million viewers. That's 2.6 million people that can turn on you when they start thinking, hang on, this is not right. And a change.org petition was set up asking for investigations, you know, and reporting child abuse and neglect. So anyway, Ruby and Kevin, because at the time she was still with her husband, they posted in defense of their discipline, and that they said the incidents had been taken out of context. But of course, the channel then started to decline in popularity. In 2022, they separated, the husband and wife, Ruby and Kevin. They separated. Kevin moved out of the house, and then Ruby Franke deleted her YouTube channel. Which, do you know, I just think, God, imagine if you had built your channel up to have 2.5 million viewers, and then you would delete it voluntarily. So she must have known, you know, there was something wrong there to do that. Hi, Angela. I'm sure you'll do really well making your own Halloween mask. Jackie Taylor, she's not on here tonight, I don't think, unless I missed her coming in. She made her own. So it doesn't have to be a work of art, you know, it's not Blue Peter. It just has to be something that covers your face. As I say, use a headscarf or use a jihad or whatever they're called, anything. I don't think it is jihad, is it? I'm not very good with remembering things like that. Anything, just put something over your face so that we don't know who you are, but we've got a photo to show. Okay, so I've got to go back now to where it was. So yeah, he moved out of the house, and that is when, because they were having, you know, problems in their relationship, that is when Franke deleted her YouTube channel and she started working as a mental health coach. A mental health coach. For fuck's sake, if you didn't have mental health issues before you met this woman, you certainly would have mental health issues afterwards. And she started working as a mental health coach at this Connections place, which was run by Jodie Hildebrand. Now, whether they knew each other before and that's how she ended up working there, or whether it was when she went to work there that she met Jodie Hildebrand, but they hit it off. Talk about, like finding like. They hit it off and they launched a new video channel together in 2022. So this is all very recent. And they partnered in an Instagram account called Moms of Truth. They offered parenting classes. Goodness me. But while they were doing this, neighbours and also Ruby, Frankie's oldest daughter, they noticed that they were leaving the children at home a lot, because although her oldest daughter had left home and was at college, I think, or university or whatever, so she still would have had 5 children at home. So anyway, just so that you know about that. So let's have a look at this Connections classroom. So this is where they both were working. As soon as I see this, I just think, oh my God. Now, the other thing we have to remember is that this was in Utah, and it was connected with the Church of Latter-day Saints, which of course are the Mormons. Now, I'm not criticizing the Mormons. I don't criticize any religion, but there's good and bad in all religions, aren't there? But this just reminds me a little bit of Lori Vallow and Chad Vallow and the Doomsday Cult Mom, and look how that ended up. They didn't. To me, the most thing about this is how the more perfect people pretend to be on social media, the more you can imagine that it's probably hell really in their house, because they present this perfection, this appearance of perfection, but they're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. How often have you seen? I've seen millions of people do it, people I know. You look at their Instagram, their Facebook or whatever, and it all looks like they're having a great time. And then when you sort of catch up with them to actually speak to them, they say, oh, how are you? And they say, oh, oh God, I've been so depressed, or, oh God, my husband's left me, or, and it's all a load of rubbish. It's just not true. It's just a front that people put on social media. So you should never believe what you see on social media. People, I've said before, it's the same with me. I don't go on there. I'm not going to put a photo on of this terrible day I've had where I look like shit and everything's gone wrong. And, I'm not going to put that on social media. I'm going to go and say, oh, look at this or look at that, because that's what people do. So they put positive things on social media. You don't see the negative things. So we've only got to look at this. Transform with Jodie. Transform with Jodie. This is the woman that's now in prison for abusing children. Create joy in your life and relationships. Learn to successfully navigate life with Jodie Hildebrand. Yeah, because she's done really well. She's in prison. Transform with Jodie. And it's all this sort of, she sort of represents herself as, what's the word, like a relationship counsellor. Let's have a look. Transform with Jodie. Oh, yes. Choose the life you want to have. Transform your pain into joy. Join, oh my God, become a member for $21 a month. Choose the life you want to have for $75 a week. 3-month commitment. And that's the Prince. So she can't even spell her website right, even though she's charging $75 a week. It's the Prince, not the price. Join the team. Schedule a session for $181 a session. Meet with Jodie Hildebrand, MS, one-on-one. for 50 minutes. Wow, a whole 50 minutes to get personal health and feedback on your unique situation and needs. Yes. Anyway, people were doing it. People were doing it. Let's just have a look at her shop. People were going to see Jodie. So her shop, you can buy all these different books. Arming the Next Generation, Connections Masterclass, Distraction and Fantasy. Oh God, she, talk about BS. She's full of it. Full of it. My classes. Oh, you've got to log in for that, but that probably costs you $75 a month. Media. Right, now on her media, it's got videos, but the videos have gone because the YouTube's gone. Jodie and Ruby, what is truth? What is distortion? Are these still on there? No. So all the videos are unavailable. Because my child is scared of school. Well, we know what Ruby would say. She'd just say, well, just fuck off, you've got to go anyway. Mind you, her children wouldn't be scared of school. Her children would probably enjoy going to school rather than be with her. Truth is under attack. No. Yeah, all the videos have been taken down, so obviously the YouTube's been disabled. So there you go. That's the website. That's the the crap basically that she was offering. Yeah, beanbags for beginners. Yeah, I don't know why they've not shut the website down. Maybe they can't do that. I don't know. I really, really don't know. Sorry, I'm just having a little look through your comments. Okay, so what we're going to look at next, because there's so much to look at again in this case. Now, so bearing in mind that they went for counselling, Ruby and her poor husband, and I sort of feel sorry for him in a way. I don't, because when the initial YouTube channel, the 8 Passengers YouTube channel, he was participating in that. But I know what we're going to look. So what we're going to look at now are some former clients of Jodie Hildebrand, or whatever her name is. We're going to look at them talking about the evil practices of the Connections classroom.
And isolation.
Yeah, Paul Nelson tells us more about this part of the story. Paul?
Well, I am also right outside the Division of Professional Licensing. We'll explain why in just a little bit. However, the former client that we spoke with, his name is Trey Warner, and he says that Jodie Hildebrand was really good at using shaming tactics to pit husband and wives against each other. And he also says that she was very good at convincing people that they were dangerous for other people to be around. The angry comments coming into the Connections Classroom social media pages now are just the beginning, according to former client Trey Warner. He joined a support group at the recommendation of a friend trying to improve his marriage. But after a while, he says he grew more suspicious of what Jodie Hildebrand was teaching.
It started to feel more and more evil. And I finally, in one of the group meetings, I got up and I just said, this is off.
Warner claims Hildebrand would use shaming tactics to turn husbands and wives against each other.
Yeah, now can I just add here another video that I watched today, and I'm not sure if it'll come up on one of the, I can't, I've watched that many videos, I can't remember which one's which. But what she would do, this Jodie Hildebrand, was she would, see, she's supposed to be a counsellor bringing couples together. She would use these shaming tactics to actually split them up, because what she would tell the wives was, so I'm laughing, and I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's just ridiculous. She would say that if the men were pleasuring themselves, this was a terrible, terrible thing. You know, she would shame them that they should not be, you know, indulging in, you know, I don't know a more polite way to say it except WANK. If they were doing that, it was terrible. It was a sin against God. And if these wives, if their husbands were doing that, these husbands were practically on the gates of hell, you know. That's so basically she was deliberately splitting up couples. To me, it seems like it'll come out later, but maybe, I don't know if she is GAY or not, but I don't know if her and Ruby actually had an sex relationship or not. I just don't know. I suppose that'll all come out when it finally all comes to court. But she was certainly, every couple that she was supposed to be bringing together, helping to stay together, she would, you know, separate them and make, always shaming the man, and making the woman feel like the man was evil, you know. You couldn't make it up. This is one of those stories you could not make it up.
Adding that she would convince men that their impure thoughts made them dangerous to their families. He says he saw one case during a group session.
There was a man that had successful business that believed that he was a danger to his wife and his family because he did a double take. As a woman, like if he saw a beautiful woman, he would see and he'd look again. This guy got his own apartment and separated from his family because he was a danger.
In some cases, Warner claims husbands were separated from their families for so long, they were considering suicide.
They felt so sick and like such a failure that they just felt like they shouldn't be here anymore.
The self-help videos on the Connections Classroom website have been removed by YouTube. The Division of Professional Licensing has an open case against Hildebrand, and her license is active. However, Division Director Mark Steinigel says they are allowed to revoke a therapist license if they believe harm is imminent.
Our harm would not just be physical harm, especially in mental health therapy.
Steinigel says the investigation process can sometimes be a lengthy one. How can you assure the public that when a complaint comes in, it isn't just brushed aside?
Yeah. I wish that I could help.
Yeah, basically what he's saying is I can't reassure the public that when a complaint comes in, they don't care because it's all about money.
Each member of the public to watch my team when they receive a complaint.
Now, we did actually reach out to Jody Hildebrandt's attorney. We asked them for any kind of comment about these accusations, and those requests have not been returned yet. Reporting live, Paul Nelson, KUTV 2 News.
Yeah, so there you go. That was what she would do. So instead of, supposedly she was supposed to be counselling these couples, to stay together, but it's, she wasn't. She was getting them to split up deliberately, I don't know. Anyway, so where am I going now? Because as I say, I have got a lot of things to show. So for some unknown reason, Ruby and her found each other. How they found each other, I honestly am not quite sure. But they did. So talk about the perfect storm. Probably Ruby, according to her videos, she was, pardon my French, but she was, well, let's say a twonk. And Jody obviously was a twonk. And then you get double twonk when you get two twonks together. And that's when all the problems started. So they started that's when they started. Obviously, the problems had probably been going on for quite a while. But that's when it got worse. Now, I'll tell you what this reminds me of, which is another case which I don't know if you've heard of, but I'm going to cover that as well, which was the Hart family murders. And this again was two women. And that's what struck me at the time. It was a same-sex couple. It was Jennifer Hart. Jennifer Hart. That is actually from Hart. Oh, she was called Jennifer. Anyway, Jennifer Hart and her wife, Sarah Hart, they MURDERED 6 of adopted children. They adopted 6 children and murdered all 6 of them and took their own lives in the process. And again, 2 women, they went to the trouble of actually adopting their children just to murder them. But theirs was a very similar case in that all their photos, you know, social media, it was like this perfect family. They were all there smiling, you know, so I will cover that another time, the Hart family. Okay, but today we're with Ruby, Frank and Jody Hildebrand. Right, what's the next? I've got another video that I want to show you. So what we're going to, so how this all came to light was this is what was going on. They were working together in this counselling place. And then one day a 911 call came in to the police. And this is where it all started unraveling for them. And that's what we're going to listen to next, this 911 call. Bye, Angela. Now, I have to warn you, it's quite upsetting, this call. I think what upset me, especially, I mean, it is upsetting because of the nature of it, but the guy, the neighbour who phones the police, there is a point where he breaks down himself. And I just found that heartrending.
He's been detained. He's obviously covered in wounds.
We're taking a closer look at the case of Ruby Franke, the YouTuber mom now accused of child abuse. For the first time, we're hearing the chilling 911 call and emergency radio communications after Franke's son escaped from her business partner's home and was found emaciated with open wounds.
And he asked us to call the police. So he's very afraid.
That 911 call came in just before 11 a.m. on August 30th. A neighbor in Ivins, Utah, a remote area about 4 hours south of Salt Lake City, reported a 12-year-old boy showed up at his house asking for help.
911, the address of your emergency. Tell me exactly what's happened.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help.
The caller then references problems at the neighbor's home before explaining the boy arrived looking emaciated with duct tape around his wrists and ankles.
We know there's been problems at this neighbor's house. He's emaciated. He's got tape around his legs. He's hungry and he's thirsty.
Officials later determined the boy's mother is Ruby Franke, the YouTuber behind the 8 Passengers channel. Once boasting more than 2 million subscribers, the channel is now defunct after being terminated.
My gosh, you guys, having kids is so much fun.
On her YouTube channel, Franke documented the lives of her 6 children and husband, Kevin, recording videos about everything from home renovations to back-to-school shopping. But Franke's strict mothering tactics came under fire long before her arrest.
And my kids are literally starving. I hesitate to say this because it's going to sound like I'm like a mean barbarian, but I told the kids, I said, I'm not even going to let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
In the past, Franke had addressed critics, saying she wouldn't stop mothering her way.
Online who hate me, who would like to cancel me, who would like to see me either burn in hell, as I have told, or disappear off the face of the earth. And I'm not going anywhere.
But it was...
Can I just say before I carry on, so there was one time when a 3-year-old did not take lunch into school. You know, in the school they have to take lunch or 11s or whatever it is. And when the school phoned Ruby to say that her 3-year-old had nothing to eat, she said, oh, well, she's supposed to prepare it herself. So if she didn't prepare it, that's her own fault. I'm not bringing anything in for her to eat. A 3-year-old. No, I understand if that's a 12-year-old, but even then I would still go in and take him something to eat because I'm soft like that. But, you know, imagine saying to the school, oh, well, you know, the school phones you to say your child has got nothing to eat. All the other children are eating their lunch or their 11s or whatever it is. Your child's got nothing to eat. And the school phones you and you say, oh, well, she's supposed to organise it herself so she won't forget next time. A 3-year-old. That's the sort of woman she is.
Frankie's own son, who requested 911 be called.
And he asked us to call the police.
Oh.
So he's very afraid. This kid has obviously been, I think he's been detained.
When this guy gets upset, when I listened to it the first time, I couldn't stop crying, because I was thinking, this guy is so upset. He's not even related to this boy, but that mother and her business partner allowed this boy to be tied up, starved. And now this stranger, this guy who doesn't even know, he's getting really upset, but his own mother couldn't get upset.
He's obviously covered in wounds. We need the cops here as soon as possible.
First responder radio communications captured the moments after this 911 call came into dispatch.
Murphy said a 12-year-old male showed up with tape around his legs Thursday asking for help, said he was afraid, asking for police. Devar, he gave the name of Russell Frankie, unknown date of birth, or he did give us the date of birth, so I'm not showing any Russells and Stillman. I'll keep looking into that. The RP said he left through the porch of the neighbor's house.
First responders can then be heard discussing the boy's wounds, saying he has sores all over his body.
Does have duct tape around each ankle. He's not telling the RP why, and said that there's sores around his wrist.
Look at the house. Look at the house. Look at how much she was charging. God, my son thinks he's being abused if he don't get a pizza when he wants one or whatever. How can they do that? How can they do that? Live like that? And then in the meantime, they're starving the children. And not only starving them, but tying them up, neglect, you know, I just, how could you sleep at night?
And ankles, he's becoming, or correction, the RP is becoming emotional.
Then, for the first time, Ruby Frankie is mentioned by name.
Sorry, the RP said that he left from a neighbor's Jody Hildebrand in Ivins, 54-year-old female. Not sure if they're related. When asking the RP's parents info, he said his mom is Ruby Frankie, unknown where she lives.
First responders also mentioned Jody Hildebrand, whose home Frankie's son escaped from. Frankie and Hildebrand have a past relationship, collaborating on parenting videos.
Do you have an address for that?
Collaborating on parenting videos. And listen, I'm not the one to fat shame anyone, because I'm fat myself, but she don't look like she's doing without much food, does she? God, how dare she? How dare she treat those children like that? I must admit, Ruby doesn't look like she eats much, to be honest. She's probably paranoid about body image or whatever. But, you know, how could you do that? So she's not going without food, and then she's sitting there and starving children and tying them up. I honestly was speechless when I started looking into this case.
Jody. Tampa 8.
Anytime you think I want, fill in the blank, I don't care what it is, that is not love. Love is a gift that you offer because you have generated it inside yourself. And how do you generate love? Well,
what a load of bollocks. What do you even know about love? And look, she's just nodding along with it and that. Oh my God, well, I'll tell you what, I hope they're having a good time in prison.
The only way to generate love is you use your agency to choose principles of truth.
First responders then mentioned the boy's siblings, who are still back at the home.
He's also saying that there's 2 of his sisters are back at the home as well.
Officials say when they arrived to the scene, investigators went to a nearby home, finding other children in similar conditions. In all, 4 children were eventually taken to the Department of Child and Family Services.
10:42, 3 minutes, medical's in front of me.
Recordings capture officials arriving to the scene when they see the 12-year-old boy's condition firsthand.
Hey, 314, the wounds on his leg are pretty good. 12X511, 314, medical is going to transport him. Said that his wounds are in need of immediate care.
Next, there's some confusion.
Notice how the neighbour got upset, the policeman sounded upset, and this bitch doesn't give a shit what's happening to her own children.
As first responders ask for a Rose Franke rather than Ruby Franke.
Confirming Rose Franke.
But officials quickly realize it's Ruby Franke that they're looking for.
I don't have any Rose Frankies coming back in Stillman or in Utah. I did find a Ruby Franke, which I sent to 12X11, showing an address out of Springville. However, only involvement is a traffic offense a couple days ago.
Additional first responders again comment on the boy's condition.
12X11, 314 as well. The child looks very emaciated.
Officials then discuss the next steps, deciding the boy needs medical care.
Or you want medical to hold off to transport to the hospital?
We need to get some photographs first.
Temple, we're going to have him hold here.
Yeah, if he's alert and breathing, just hang out and wait for us, please.
According to a press release, the boy's condition was, quote, so severe that they were seen by the Santa Clara Ivins EMS and transported to a local hospital. Eventually, the conversation comes back to Franke and Hildebrandt over the radio.
After doing a little digging, it looks like that 27.
Look at them, so smug as anything. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my God. I'll tell you what, they won't be having a good time in prison, because I don't think the other women in the prison will be that happy with them. Yeah, take your bloody sermons and stick them where the sun doesn't shine.
Thank you for Ruby. Frankie is going to be the one that is associated with the Jody Hildebrand. They're both showing a therapist from Salt Lake and associated through social media as well.
Control 12X11, does she have an address in Springville?
Yeah, 10-4. She's showing up in Salt Lake per her Facebook. Her and Jody both are therapists showing addresses up her locations for their work up in Salt Lake as well.
Copy, yeah. 10-4, that's going to be the mom. What's the address for that Jody Hildebrand?
Sorry, which address for Jody?
Do you have an address for her in Kansas?
Yeah, 10-4. She's just a few streets up showing the address of.
At this point, first responders search Hildebrand's home.
7 keyhole there, we're searching the house.
Both Franke and Hildebrand were arrested on August 30th and charged with 2 counts of aggravated child abuse. Those charges have since been upgraded, and now they each face 6 counts of aggravated child abuse. If convicted, that means they could spend 15 years in prison and owe a $10,000 fine. Right.
Well, to me, I'm sorry, but 15 years doesn't seem that much for child abuse for all those different children.
Now both are being held in the Washington County Jail. Reporting for Law and Crime Network, I'm Sierra Gillespie.
So that's what started it all off. You know, that phone call from that neighbour. You know, when that poor boy managed to escape, somehow managed to escape, made his way over to the neighbour's house. You know, and yeah, high rate, high DMV. Yeah, the thing is, people reported it. Well, they got up a petition, DMV. That's what I'm saying earlier. They created because she had 2.5 million subscribers to her YouTube channel. 2.5 million. And so a petition, a change.org petition was put together. And anyway, all that happened was she took down her YouTube channel. There was no investigations or anything, you know, so just ridiculous. But yeah, they're in prison. They're in prison. So that's the good news. They are in prison. Now, one of Ruby's daughters, the older girl, who luckily for her was not living there at the time. Well, let me just show you this first before, because we're going to hear from Ruby's daughter, but I just want to show you this article, which will just, because I know there's some of you coming in later that haven't heard everything. So I just want to give you a summary then. So 2 individuals, Jody Nan Hildebrandt and, I just realised I think I've spelt her name wrong, and I'm thinking, what a shame, I couldn't give a shit. And Ruby Franke have been arrested in southern Utah on charges of child abuse. The arrest came after a malnourished 12-year-old boy who appeared to have his hands bound escaped from an Ivins residence belonging to Hildebrand, ran to a neighbour's home seeking help. The child had duct tape on his ankles and wrists, along with severe wounds and signs of malnourishment. In wounds, what were they doing to him? The police discovered another malnourished child, a 10-year-old girl, in Hildebrand's home. Both children were under Hildebrand's care. So Ruby, here they are, the 2 BITCHESs. Ruby Franke, a popular YouTube blogger known for her channel 8 Passengers, was identified as the mother of the 2 children. And a recent YouTube video filmed in Hildebrand's basement revealed that Frankie was aware of the abuse, neglect, and malnourishment. So, following the arrests, 4 of Frankie's children have been placed in state protective custody. Family members expressed relief that justice was being served and the children were safe. And Frankie's daughter, Shari, and that's who we're going to look at in a minute, also a blogger, this is the oldest daughter, posted about the arrest and requested information about questionable or concerning connections or 8 Passengers videos. Oh, look, you've got the police scanner there. Actually, I might just listen to that.
12x11, 12x4, if you can back on a child abuse.
Control Medic 42 and you 42 on scene.
Copy 10-0.
Well, not very. Let's try.
Like 511. Control 12x11, all 17, all back 17. Hey, 314, the
Yeah, boy, this
wounds on his leg are pretty.
repeat said a 12-year-old male
Pretty
showed
good.
up with tape around his legs Thursday asking for help, said he was afraid asking for police.
Right, well, they're more, to be fair, they're more or less what we've just listened to. And any of you that are coming in a bit late, if you've missed the 911 call from the neighbour, you need to go back and look at that again. Okay, so let's have a look at the daughter and what she had to say. So this is Ruby's oldest daughter, and she's got her own YouTube channel. Well, she was bound to, really, wasn't she? She's also I don't know, YouTuber or whatever, because but I suppose she's bound to be because of the life she's been brought up under the spotlight of social media. God, my son would go mad if I tried to.
Lots of therapy, lots of writing. I've written a ton, and it's helped a lot. And I'm ready to start sharing my life again.
Ruby Franke's eldest daughter breaks her silence after her mom, a now accused child abuser, is arrested. KUTV2 News' Brian Schnee is back with us to make sense of Shari Franke's new Instagram post. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. All right, so we want to do a bit of a reaction to the new update in the Ruby Franke case. Franke, of course, is the former Utah YouTuber who documented her life with her husband, Kevin, and their 6 kids on a now defunct channel called 8 Passengers. The controversial videos presented parenting and childcare advice that many saw as strict and even potentially abusive. It's interesting considering now that Ruby.
So that little man there, that was the son that ran away and to the neighbour and was found emaciated and with restraints, duct tape around his ankles and wrists.
Videos presented parenting and childcare advice that many saw as strict and even potentially abusive. It's interesting considering now that Ruby and her business partner, Jody Hildebrand, have each been charged with 6 counts of aggravated child abuse after 2 of Ruby's kids were reportedly found malnourished. Her son even was displaying lacerations from being tied up. But now Shari Franke, this is Ruby's oldest daughter, has broken her silence after her mom's arrest. Shari had her own social media accounts where she documented her life. She took a break.
See, I don't like this. You can look at her, she's got that same smile. It's that smile. Oh, yeah, look how everything's. I know that's the way she's been brought up, but oh my God, she's like another one in the making. Sorry, I'm going to fast forward it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, basically what we know is what you've seen play out over the years on social media or on YouTube, right? Because this is a very forward-facing family in the public eye with 8 passengers. I personally was not an 8 passengers viewer before this, but I know a lot of people out there, a lot of people who will see this have definitely scoured the internet and seen the videos between either the relationship between Ruby and Shari or Ruby and Chad. Those are your 2 oldest children out of the 6 passengers, if you will. So it's a very interesting dynamic. And I think we're seeing it play out almost day by day here with just the changes as of late. And Frankie's body camera video wanting to charge
it a little bit. Now, this is the father. Now, he's strange as well because he knew what was going on. He never went to the police either, and now he's like annoyed about it all. But what did he ever do to help anything? His own children. He knew how his children were being treated, and he just left them to be treated like that.
Shari with a theft after she took some items, to them walking down the steps together at a recent hearing. It's hard to tell if it's all for show or if it's legitimate at this point, but I think time will.
Yeah, and then there was a thing with him where he accused the daughter of stealing things from him. It's just like the whole thing. It's ridiculous. It's all played out in the public eye. And let's just go to this.
This that was started by Jody Hildebrand, that it was that relationship, Jody and Ruby, that caused Shari to break away from her family. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, it sounds like that, but it also sounds like a number of other family members had that same experience too, right? A lot of people that I've spoken with said, hey, I haven't had a dialogue with this side of the family in years. And it sounds like both of Ruby's sisters said the same thing.
As soon as you see photos like that, look, everyone's smiling. Oh, I think, I can't get my son to have his photograph taken. It's like I haven't been able to for years. And it's certainly not when he was that age. I mean, he might have come round to it a bit now he's older. It's all this posing, this perfection, that smile. It's like you just know that it's all wrong, don't you? I mean, think about your own families. Look, here's another one of Shari, the daughter. She's doing it. That is not a natural photo. Her hair's perfect. She's there sort of with a head like that. I tell you what, if you took a picture of me just out in the woods, my God, I won't be able to put it on social media. I don't know. It's also artificial.
It's pretty obvious that both Shari and Chad have perspective on what was going on to some degree, right? Just how much they want to share is totally up to them as it pertains to their mom, Ruby, and even.
And a very big statement for her to make that.
There you go with a pumpkin.
No, haven't seen anything, and it's been what?
It's almost like that smile. That could be a mask, couldn't it? It's like you could just literally stick that onto your face. It's a certain kind of smile and the head tilt, and it's horrible. I hate falseness. That's something that I really, really don't like. Because do you know what? I think being an empath, I think it confuses me when people are false. When they're acting one way, but really I know that they're not like that. I'd rather have someone who's actually horrible and being openly horrible, because I can cope with that, because I know it's a genuine, it's like I can deal with that. I cannot deal with false people. I absolutely cannot deal with them.
6 going on 7 weeks. I mean, this is really over the last month or so kind of just dragged out a little bit because we haven't had court hearings. We haven't had a lot of
There you
the
go.
most punchy part of all of this was when she had one word on the
smile.
screen with Springville police outside of the home there and said finally, and we hadn't heard from her since. So I think this is really encouraging. Pertains to the 4 remaining passengers, right? So we refer to it that way. Mom and dad are 1 and 2, Sherry and
these are the important things for me, the photos, and these false smiles. And honestly, when I will be doing a video after Halloween, obviously tomorrow's all about Halloween, but I'm going to do a video on that Hart family as well, and their 6 adopted children that they actually murdered, but their photos were like this as well. All their photos leading up to the murder of all, the murder and double suicide. All the photos were like this. Look at the smiles. They're like painted on. They're all exactly the same. It's horrible.
Chatter, your 2 eldest, and then there's the 4 that are underage. So really so I think Sherry has had a lot on her plate, right? She wants this to work out for her family. There was kind of
acrimonious relationship between Sherry and Kevin. You said it, that at one point there's this video that comes out where Kevin was wondering why Sherry wasn't arrested. He thought that she stole these various items from the Franke home. She ended up returning the items like tablets, cell phones.
See, he just looks like a twonk to me. You know what I mean? It's just like, is there nobody normal in this place?
Cameras, journals, passports. Police at the time said to Kevin she had no intent to steal. She was holding on to these items. And Brian, by the way, you're an anchor reporter for KUTV.
To the child abuse allegations. From
there you go. She's teaching her the smile there. It's like, you can imagine what's going on behind the scenes. You will smile, and you smile like this. Remember what I taught you. That's that poor kid.
On the initial day, August 30th in Southern Utah.
And Brian, by the way, you're an anchor reporter for KUTV2 News. My understanding is you guys tried to get a comment from the Frankies after court, but no comment, right?
Yeah, no comment. I mean, the one day that we did hear from Randy Kester was one of those earlier hearings, which was about a month ago now in mid-September. We're going to talk about this. We're going to put this out there. They don't want to say anything. And I think that they can't say anything about the child welfare situation because the judge sealed the case. And ultimately, that is because of early media coverage from some.
Yeah, so the judge has sealed the case, which is sort of fair enough, really, because the thing is, people know so much about this. When you've got a court case coming up, the judge is trying to make sure that it's a fair trial, because if not because he thinks they're not guilty, but because if not, they could be, they could get away with it. So it's important to remember these are alleged, suppose I should say that, these are alleged crimes. Nothing's been proven yet in a court of law.
Happen what Sherry Franke is going through. And that post kind of gives a little bit of an indication. But look, we're going to continue to follow this. I know you're going to continue to follow it, and hopefully we learn a little.
Anyway. So that's what we know so far. Hi, Rini. Hi, Mark. A shine with loving personality. Yeah, I don't always shine with loving. You know what? This is what I'm saying is we all have. Where's the off days? It's like if you watch like I'm not praising particularly the Osborns or any of those families that do, but at least you see some of the sort of warts and alls thing. Nobody is perfect all the time, smiling and laughing. I always try and be as cheerful as possible, but you know, there's some days where you just feel like telling the whole world to sort of F off, don't you? You know, and that never came over in their videos. They were doing it all behind the scenes, weren't they? Yeah, do you know, when I take my dogs out first thing in the morning, I literally, in the winter, you just got your leggings on, haven't you? Don't even brush my hair or whatever, you know. And she's like, oh, you know, like all like this. But anyway, I hate falseness. I do. I just can't stand it. I'd rather have somebody who's actually not that. I always quite like difficult people, actually, because anyone who is themselves, if I like someone, if they're themselves, and if they being themselves means that sometimes they're not, no, we're not perfect, we're all human beings with you know, we've all got our good points and our bad points. None of us are perfect, and they're trying to put over this perfection, and in the meantime she's threatening her children that she'll cut the head off a stuffed toy, you know, if they don't behave. My God. Listen, you know, I've done some things. You know, I'm not a perfect mom. Oh God, if don't get talking to my son, he'll tell you everything that I've done wrong. You know, kids are like that, aren't they? But I'm not a perfect mum, but I've never threatened my son that I would cut off his cuddly toy's head if he didn't behave. I have done the Father Christmas thing where you sort of go, oh, well, you know, if you don't behave, Father Christmas won't come, and things like that. I have done that. I have to admit, I don't think there's many parents who haven't done that, because it does come in handy that near Christmas, where you can sort of say, oh, well, you know, you've got to be good because otherwise Father Christmas won't come. But that's not the same as threatening to lock the head off their bloody cuddly toy, or tying them up in the basement, starving them. Oh my God, you couldn't starve my son. Anyway, you're at night, Rachel. Well, I'm finishing now, so. But the last thing, oh, Jackie, you've just got, we're just finishing now. You'll have to catch up. Sorry, I've started reading the chat. I always know when I'm getting tired when I start. Not that I'm not interested in reading the chat, but I start reading it and then I start enjoying reading it, and then it's because I'm getting tired of talking. So that's the story so far of Ruby Franke and Jodie Hildebrand, or whatever her name is. You know, right, going against the grain, sort of doubly annoying me because they're giving women a bad name. You know, it's terrible. But anyway, the children are safe now. That's what we can say. The children are a bit safe now. They're being fed properly. They're away from these evil women, and they are evil women. And we'll see what happens in the case, etc., as time goes on. But I will do updates on this case. And, you know, there's quite a few cases of YouTubers and things that are interesting. I cannot imagine a woman. So this Ruby Franke had 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube, and she still managed to balls it up. So I mean, how thick, how stupid you have to be. You've got 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube, and you managed to wreck it. You know, I mean, what's up with her? Oh. Listen, yeah, oh God. Anyway, never mind. So there you go. Nothing that appears perfect on the surface is perfect underneath. And when I tell you this other case about the Hart family, you'll see it's very, as soon as I heard about this case, it reminded me of the story of the Hart family. Very similar, all this perfection, and then God knows what was going on in the background. Yeah, I know, DMV, but people enjoy, you know, I don't know. You know, I just don't know. you know, but it's amazing what we were watching another YouTube video of a YouTuber that my son likes called Penguin, and I'd started watching it because I don't know, it came up on my feed for something. And he's got millions of subscribers, and literally all he does is sit in his room and talk about things. You know, it's like he doesn't, you know, go out or do anything, just talks about things. People like, I think probably people started watching Ruby Franke because she was like this mom, you know, and I don't know. And then by the time it all started to go really dark, I don't know, she already had those subscribers, and sometimes people don't unsubscribe. They just leave it. This, you know, channels become what they call ghost channels. So they've still got a load of subscribers because over the years they've picked up subscribers or over time, but people don't just bother unsubscribing, but they just stop watching. So so some channels have a lot of subscribers, but they don't have much participation. And then you know, and I would include my channel in this. The good thing is sometimes they don't have so many subscribers, but people participate in their channels. They're active, you know, and that's the ways it goes. But yeah. Okay, I'm going. So don't forget, you've still got time to send in anything Halloween related, photos of oh, Tracy, you've got to save it because I've got to go now. But you can tell us the story. It'll come up on the chat and we'll still be able to read it. But so remember, send me your Halloween themed photos, masks, disguises, fancy dress. It doesn't have to be even from this Halloween. If you've got old photos, send them instead. Send a visually, you know, like God, what's the word? I've forgotten the word now. You make a mask on your phone. You don't have to buy a mask. You can sort of do a virtual mask, or you can make one. So I will see you all very soon. Remember to live and love wisely. Don't believe. When you see, I expect you all do it. Do you ever do it and you go on Facebook and you think, oh, looks like they're on holiday again, or they're having a great time, they're out for a meal again. I've not been out for 3 months or whatever. Don't believe that they're having a fantastic time, because to be honest, if they feel like they've got to put it on there like that, they probably are not. So that's my belief anyway, because, you know, most of the time you just go out, you enjoy yourself. Who remembers to take photos of it every 30 seconds? But anyway, I'm glad it all worked out. It all worked out tonight, didn't it? With the internet and everything, it's great. Seems like it was all okay. Yeah, but Kelly, we've all done that. I have done that. I have said, well, all I've said is, oh, you know, you've got to be good, otherwise Father Christmas won't come. God, I'll probably be done for that now. But I never thought I would, but I did in the end. But anyway, so remember to live and love very carefully. Don't believe what you see on social media about people having this fantastic life. They probably haven't. Send in your bits and pieces for Halloween. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I've got my costume clear and everything, and you're going to have to try and guess who I am. And I'm going to tell some spooky stories and show all your photos that you've sent me, and we're going to have some fun tomorrow. We're going to have some fun. So take care, and I will see you very soon. I'll definitely see you tomorrow, if not in the morning, definitely in the evening. And until I see you again, may your gods always go with you. Thank you. Much love to you too. Yeah, hope you're feeling better, Chumba, soon.